Whether you're just getting started farming Tera Raids for Herba Mystica, or you're a Tera Raid pro, it's a great time to refresh your Tera Raiding team. Welcome back to another DanSquared video, you Danimals. The Teal Mask DLC has been out for over a month, and now that we've had plenty of time to workshop builds with the Danimals, we are ready with a DanSquared list of best solo Tera Raid build for every Tera type of returning Pokemon in the Teal Mask DLC. We want to help give you trainers options so you can farm Herba Mystica in style with some of your favorite returning Pokemon. To make this list as accessible as possible to new trainers, we enforced the rule that the Tera type of the Pokemon for the build had to be one of its original types. The full build for all 18 of these Pokemon will be in the description of this video. Shout out to the Danimal Link for helping us put this video together. Now let's get right into this list. Here's a high level look at the first 6 of our builds. We have the build split up between physical attacking and special attacking Pokemon. We further broke up the builds into groups based on the setup moves they use. Up first here we have 4 Belly Drum users and 2 Swords Dance users. Here are the next 6 builds. Up top, you'll see 2 more Swords Dance users. Then we have our last 2 physical attacking Pokemon. We have Golem with Defense Curl and Rollout, which is a really cool combo, and Mamoswine. Then we have the first of our special attacking Pokemon. We have 2 Nasty Plot users. Here are our final 6 special attacking builds. Up top, we have 2 Calm Mind users. Then we have Quiver Dance Ribombee and Weezing. Last but not least, we have Charge Beam Vikavolt and Competitive Empoleon. Now let's take a closer look at each of these 18 builds and how you can best use them in Tera Raids. Here's our best Poliwrath build for taking down Tera Raids. All of the physical attacking builds on this list have an Adamant nature to boost their attack while lowering their special attack. Our Poliwrath has max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. Our build has the Water Absorb ability to gain immunity to water type attacks. Drain Punch is an elite move in Tera Raids. It lets you hit for big damage while also recovering HP. Poliwrath is the first of our Belly Drum users. It is another Tera Raid staple. It cuts our HP in half and maximizes our attack. It pairs perfectly with Drain Punch to allow us to heal back the damage that we take from using Belly Drum. Amnesia boosts Poliwrath's special defense. Bulk Up boosts this build's physical bulk, while also giving it another way to raise its attack when it doesn't have enough HP to use Belly Drum safely. Our build uses a Metronome held item for some extra damage while swinging with Drain Punch. To best use this build, use Belly Drum to maximize your attack, then start swinging with Drain Punch. Mix in Amnesia and Bulk Up to increase your survivability. Up next, we have Poliwrath's cousin Politoed. Politoed is the Tera Water representative on this list. Politoed has max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and you put the final 4 into HP. This build has the Drizzle ability, which sets the raining weather condition. This gives our water type moves a 50% damage boost for 5 turns. Liquidation is the main attacking move in this build. It hits for great damage and has a 10% chance to lower the target's defense by 1 stage. Belly Drum powers up Liquidation. Amnesia provides extra special bulk for this build. Chilling Water lets us charge our Tera Orb while lowering the Tera Raid Pokemon's attack. This build is the first of many Shell Bell users on this list. To best use this build, start off with an Amnesia or 2 against a special attacking raid Pokemon, or go right into some Chilling Waters. After that, use Belly Drum and start swinging with Liquidation. Representing Dragon Tera all the way from the Alola region, it is Kommo-o. This build also has max attack EVs, max HP EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. We use the ability Overcoat, which functions like the held item Safety Goggles. This is especially useful in Tera Raids, preventing the raid Pokemon from using Spore against us. We all know how annoying those 6-star Tera Raids are that just put you to sleep over and over again. Dragon Claw is this build's only attacking move. Belly Drum powers up Dragon Claw. Breach softens up the Tera Raid Pokemon for Dragon Claw. Iron Defense gives this build some physical bulk. Kommo-o also uses the Shell Bell for some recovery. Dragon is one of the less useful Tera types in Tera Raids because it can only hit itself for super effective damage. Even without hitting for super effective damage, this build can still put in work. To best use this build, start with an Iron Defense or 2 unless you're facing a Tera Raid Pokemon that only uses special attacking moves. Use Screech before the Tera Raid Pokemon puts its shield up to soften up its defense. Use Belly Drum and start swinging with Dragon Claw. Representing Normal, the least useful offensive Tera type, it is Snorlax. Do not let Tera Normal not hitting anything for super effective damage take anything away from the sheer power of this build. Snorlax has max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. It gets the really useful ability Thick Fat, which halves the damage it takes from ice and fire type attacks. Body Slam is the weaker of the 2 attacking moves that this build uses, but it also has a chance to paralyze the Tera Raid Pokemon, which is really useful. The other attacking move is Last Resort. This hits like a ton of bricks, but we can only use it after we use Body Slam, Chilling Water, and Belly Drum at least once. Which we have no problem doing because Body Slam powers up Body Slam in Last Resort. Chilling Water helps make up for this build's low defense stat. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, lead off with Chilling Water. Mix in a couple if you're facing a physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon. Next, use Belly Drum to power up. Use Body Slam until the Tera Raid Pokemon is paralyzed. Switch over to Last Resort to hit for massive damage, even without a super effective move. If you're facing a Tera Raid where you don't love your super effective options, just use Snorlax. Next is our Tera Grass build, and we have the grass starter from the Sinnoh region, Torterra. This build continues the trend of having max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. We use the Overgrow ability that all grass starters get. That boosts the power of our grass type moves when our HP gets to 1/3 or below. Seed Bomb is how this build deals damage. Swords Dance powers up Seed Bomb to hit for big damage. Iron Defense increases the physical bulk of this build. Leech Seed gives this build some extra recovery while doing a little bit of extra damage to the Tera Raid Pokemon. Once again, we have the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build on turn 1, use Leech Seed to start gradually stealing HP from the Raid Pokemon. Use an Iron Defense or 2 if you're facing a physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon. Power up with Swords Dance 3 times and start swinging with Seed Bomb. Crawdaunt is the dark representative on this list. Our build has max attack EVs, max special defense, and the final 4 into HP. It has the ability Adaptability, which increases its same type attack boost from plus 50% to a plus 100%. This makes Crawdaunt's dark type attacks do 50% more damage. Crunch is this build's only attacking move. It hits for big damage and has a 10% chance to lower the target's defense by 1 stage. Swords Dance powers up Crunch. Iron Defense gives this build additional physical bulk. Taunt prevents Tera Raid Pokemon from buffing their own stats, debuffing ours, or using annoying moves like Spore or Taunt against us. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, start off with a turn 1 Taunt. If you're facing a physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon, use some Iron Defenses. Power up with Swords Dance, then start swinging with Crunch. Gliscor occupies the ground type spot on this list, and fun fact, ground type is my favorite Pokemon type. I love how sturdy and dependable ground type Pokemon are. I feel like they would make wonderful partners, and Earthquake goes hard. Our Gliscor has max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. Our build uses the ability Sand Veil, which boosts its evasiveness during a sandstorm. Earthquake is how this build deals damage. Swords Dance powers up Earthquake. Screech softens up our target for Earthquake. Mud Slap boosts the survivability of this build. If the Tera Raid Pokemon can't hit us, it can't knock us out. To best use this build, start off with some Mud Slaps to lower the Tera Raid Pokemon's accuracy. Then use some Screeches to debuff its defense. Then you can power up a Swords Dance and swing with Earthquake for massive damage. Next up is Ariados, the very colorful bug type representative. This build has max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. The ability Sniper is the key to this build. This makes Ariados' critical hits hit that much harder. Leech Life, just like Drain Punch, lets this build hit for massive damage while restoring HP. This means that we don't need to use the Shell Bell held item for our recovery. Swords Dance powers up Leech Life. In Tera Raids, you just need to use Focus Energy 1 time, and your critical hit chance will be boosted until you get knocked out or the Tera Raid ends. This build can use either Struggle Bug or Lunge depending on if you're facing a physical attacking or special attacking Tera Raid Pokemon. Lunge lowers the target's attack, while Struggle Bug lowers the target's special attack. It uses the held item Scope Lens to give it a greater chance of landing a critical hit. To best use this build, use Focus Energy on turn 1 to increase the likelihood of a critical hit, then use Lunge or Struggle Bug. Once the Raid Pokemon is debuffed, you can use Swords Dance and start swinging with Leech Life. All the way from the Kanto region, we have Golem representing Rock type. Our Golem has max HP EVs, max attack EVs, and the final 4 into defense. It has the Sand Veil ability to increase its evasiveness during a sandstorm. We have Sandstorm to make use of that bonus from Sand Veil. This also gives Golem a 50% boost to its special defense, making it a lot more viable against special attacking Tera Raid Pokemon. Rollout is this build's main attacking move. It hits up to 5 times in a row if it doesn't miss, and its power doubles every time. Defense Curl increases the physical bulk of this build. But did you also know that using Defense Curl before Rollout doubles the amount of damage that Rollout does? Take a look. Here's Rollout without using Defense Curl. And here's Golem using Defense Curl once, then using Rollout on that same exact Pokemon. We can hit for huge damage in a pinch with Stone Edge. We almost always prefer to use Rollout, so leave a comment if you have a better idea on a 4th move for Golem. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, turn 1, use Sandstorm to give Golem an evasiveness boost. Use Defense Curl 1 time. If you're facing a strong physical attacking Pokemon, you can use a couple. Start swinging with Rollout for some surprisingly strong damage. If you're enjoying this list so far, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment with your favorite build, and subscribe for more DanSquared. Up next is our final physical attacking build on the list. It is Mamoswine representing the Ice Tera type. Mamoswine has max attack EVs, max special defense EVs. We put the final 4 into HP. This build actually does not have an adamant nature. It has a brave nature to raise its attack while lowering its speed, because thanks to Avalanche, will always be attacking second anyway. Our Mamoswine has the Snow Cloak ability, which increases its evasiveness during a snowstorm. We have Snowscape to activate the snowing weather condition. This also gives our Mamoswine a 50% boost to its defense. Mud Slap further increases this build's survivability. Avalanche is how this build deals damage. It always goes second and has a base power of 60. But if we've already been hit, that base power of 60 doubles to 120. Mudslap and Snowcloak are a bit of a double-edged sword here. We're not getting hit as often, so that's good because we're not losing HP. But the bad news is if we don't get hit, it doesn't double the power of Avalanche. Luckily, we have Curse to boost the power of Avalanche and give us some more physical bulk. To best use this build on turn 1, use Snowscape to activate the Snowcloak evasiveness bonus. Use some Mudslaps to debuff the raid Pokemon's accuracy. Power up with Curse and start swinging with Avalanche. Mandibuzz is the first special attacking Pokemon on this list. It is representing the flying types. It has max special attack EVs, max defense EVs, and the final 4 into HP. All the special attacking builds in this list have the modest nature to further boost their special attack while lowering their attack stat. Even with a modest nature, it has a very modest special attack of 229. But thanks to its excellent move pool, it's still able to deal big damage. Thanks to its excellent physical bulk and the ability Big Pex, which prevents its defense from being lowered, it is an excellent choice to use against physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon. Hurricane is this build's only attacking move. It hits like a ton of bricks, but it only has a 70% accuracy. That is, of course, unless it's raining. So we have Rain Dance to make sure that Hurricane will not miss for 5 turns. Nasty Plot powers up Hurricane. Fake Tear softens up the Tera Raid Pokemon for Hurricane. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, debuff the Tera Raid Pokemon with some Fake Tears before it puts its shields up. When you're ready to attack, use Rain Dance one time, then start swinging with Hurricane. Repping the Kanto region, we have the Fire type representative of the list, it's Ninetales. Our Ninetales has max special attack EVs, max HP EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. Our build has the ability Drought, which triggers Harsh Sunlight when Ninetales enters the field. We have Sunny Day to make sure that Harsh Sunlight stays up. We want Harsh Sunlight up because it gives a 50% damage boost to Fire type moves. Flamethrower is this build's only attacking move. It hits for great damage and has a chance to burn the target. This deals some extra damage and is especially useful against physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon because the burn status condition lowers a Pokemon's attack. Nasty Plot powers up Flamethrower. Fake Tears softens up the Tera Raid Pokemon for Flamethrower. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, soften up the Tera Raid Pokemon with Fake Tears, mix in some Nasty Plots to power up Flamethrower, and then use Sunny Day if the Harsh Sunlight goes away. Swing with Flamethrower for huge damage. Up next is another Fire type Pokemon we're using with a Ghost Tera, Chandelure. Our Candle has max special attack EVs, max HP EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. We have the ability Flash Fire to give our Chandelure an immunity to Fire type attacks. Our build has a massive special attack of 427, which lets us hit for huge damage. Hex is the main attacking move of this build. It has a base power of 65 that doubles to 130 if the Tera Raid Pokemon is afflicted with a status condition. While soloing Tera Raids, the AI allies often inflict the Tera Raid Pokemon with status conditions on their own. We can guarantee a burn with Inferno. Minimize really helps the survivability of this build by sharply raising its evasiveness. If Chandelure can't get hit, it can't get knocked out. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, use Minimize 2 or 3 times, then start powering up with Calm Mind. Once you're ready to start attacking, use Inferno if the Tera Raid Pokemon is not already inflicted with a status condition. Once it is inflicted with a status condition, start swinging with Hex. Up next is Chimecho, an often overlooked Pokemon from the Hoenn region. This build has max special attack EVs, max HP EVs, and the final 4 in special defense. We put the final 4 EVs into special defense over defense because while you're soloing Tera Raids, you can have AI allies with Intimidate, or the Toxapex with Chilling Water, or the Sylveon that knows Charm. Chimecho has the ability Levitate, which gives it immunity to ground type attacks. This build is a stored power user, so it takes a while to set up, but once it's set up, it hits for nice damage. Calm Mind powers up stored power and increases the special bulk of this build. Using Calm Mind 6 times gives your Pokemon 12 stages of stat boosts. This raises stored power's base power from 20 to 260. Chimecho uses Snarl to charge its Terra Orb while increasing its special bulk. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, use Reflect if you're facing a physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon, or Snarl if you're facing a special attacking Tera Raid Pokemon. Then use a whopping 6 Calm Minds. Then you can finally start swinging with stored power. For a very weak and forgettable Pokemon, it does very respectable damage. Next up is further proof that good things can come in small packages. It is Ribombee. The most shocking part of this build is just how small the terastallized crown is when Ribombee terastallizes. Our Ribombee has max HP EVs, max special attack EVs, and the final 4 into special defense. This build has the incredibly useful ability Sweet Veil, which prevents it and its allies from falling asleep. This is incredible against the Tera Raid Pokemon that want to spam Spore or Yawn. The Tiny Fly has 2 attacking moves, Dazzling Gleam and Draining Kiss. Dazzling Gleam does a little bit of extra damage, while Draining Kiss provides some additional recovery. Quiver Dance powers up both of those moves while speeding up Ribombee and giving it some extra special bulk. Lunge helps make up for this build being so physically frail by lowering the Tera Raid Pokemon's attack by 1 stage. This build also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, start off with Lunge if you're going against a physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon, otherwise you can go right to Quiver Dance. Once you're powered up with Quiver Dance, you can start swinging with Dazzling Gleam. Mix in a Draining Kiss if you need some additional healing. Up next is sneakily one of the strongest builds on this list, and it is Weezing. Weezing has max HP EVs, max special attack EVs, and the final 4 in his special defense. It has the really powerful ability Levitate, which gives it an immunity to ground type moves. This leaves Weezing with only a single weakness, and that is Psychic. Stockpile increases the bulk of this build. It increases both the user's defense and special defense, but you can only use it 3 times. Sludge Bomb and Venoshock are the attacking moves of this build. Use Sludge Bomb until the Tera Raid Pokemon is poisoned. Once it's poisoned, Venoshock's base power of 65 doubles to 130. Acid Spray softens up the Tera Raid Pokemon for both Sludge Bomb and Venoshock. It uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, start with a couple stockpiles, then switch over to Acid Spray. Once the Tera Raid Pokemon special defense is at -6, start using Sludge Bomb until it's poisoned. Then you can switch over to Venoshock for some additional damage. Vikavolt occupies the penultimate spot on this list. It is also the Terra Electric representative of the returning Pokemon. Vikavolt has max HP EVs, max special attack EVs, and the final 4, and you guessed it, special defense. It has an incredible special attack of 427. Unfortunately, it is very frail. Its ability Levitate helps, however, because once it terastallizes the Terra Electric, it has no weakness because it's immune to ground type attacks. Struggle Bug and Lunge help make this build less frail. Struggle Bug lowers the target's special attack, while Lunge lowers the target's attack. Charge Beam charges Vikavolt's Terra Orb while having a 70% chance to boost its special attack. This charge hits for huge damage and has a chance to paralyze the target. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. If you're facing a special attacking Tera Raid Pokemon, start off with a couple Struggle Bugs. Otherwise, start off with Lunge. Then switch over to Charge Beam to boost your special attack while charging your Terra Orb. Then Terastallize and swing for huge damage with Discharge. Last but not least, it is the water representative on this list. It's one of the starters from Sinnoh region, Empoleon. Our build has max special attack EVs, max special defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. We gave this build special defense EVs because it has access to the move Iron Defense to increase its physical bulk. The ability Competitive is the key to this build. Every time Empoleon has any of its stats lowered by 1 stage, its special attack is raised by 2 stages. This is very important for this build because it has no other way to raise its special attack. Flash Cannon is the main attacking move for this build. It hits for excellent steel type damage and has a 10% chance to lower the target's special defense. Empoleon uses Chilling Water to charge its Terra Orb and to further increase its physical bulk. Iron Defense makes sure that physical attacking Pokemon can't touch the Penguin. I'm not sold as Body Slam as the 4th move here. Right now I have it for the chance to paralyze, but I would love to hear from you Danimals on what a better 4th move is for Empoleon. It also uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. If you're facing a physical attacking Tera Raid Pokemon, start off with an Iron Defense, then switch to Chilling Water. If you're facing a special attacking Tera Raid Pokemon, you can use Body Slam until your Terra Orb is charged. Then start swing with Flash Cannon. If the Tera Raid Pokemon lowers your stats, you're going to be hitting for some big damage fast. Let us know in the comments if you try any of these builds out, or what build you think that we missed and deserves to be on this list. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or using belly drum on that subscribe button for more DanSquared. Thanks for watching and happy Herba Mystica hunting!